Good evening and welcome. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to the freshman and sophomore informational night from the counseling department. We just wanted to provide a little bit of background about what we do with your students and what we encourage you to do in order to prepare for life after high school and the rest of high school. So first of all, I'm Steph Paulson. I am one of the high school counselors, and I am ninth. I work primarily with 9th and 11th graders.
I'm Andrea Schulteis. I'm the other high school counselor here, and I primarily work with 10th and 12th graders.
So we're just going to kind of go through these three areas are what school counselors focus on. So career/post-secondary planning, academics, and then personal social. So we'll talk a little bit about each of the things that we go through, but then also some advice in how to help your student prepare in those three categories. We also wanted to introduce some other staff that are important. Katie Thrasher is the counseling secretary, so anytime the students want to come talk with us, if we're busy, she's always there to take down a name, write passes. She also helps a ton with scholarships and just a multitude of different things, including helping us when we're feeling lost as counselors too. Jackie Henderson, below Katie here, is our tag teacher, and she comes over and meets primarily with juniors and seniors as they're getting a little older and planning on life after high school. She works closer with our tag students in the younger grades and at middle school, and then at high school it just looks a little different as it evolves. And Christina Anderson is a new person with a new spot or a new job position here at the high school called Work-Based Learner. And what she does is helping to meet with students and get them into work-based learning programs, whether it's a job shadow or an internship, different ways for students to get into a workplace and understand what it's really like to have that job and explore it. She is here one day a week on Tuesdays because she's shared between 4 different districts. So she's a busy lady, but also she's brand new and already doing a phenomenal job. And then Meredith Shawns, we don't have a picture of her, but she is our IJAG teacher, and IJAG is a program that I always love for Andrea to explain.
It's kind of working on workplace readiness skills and employability, and then getting kind of steeped in that career development. So it's a program that they start participating in as juniors and can stick with it through the end of their senior year. So if that, typically we do a combination of like students expressing interest and then they have to meet certain eligibility criteria, or if it's something that we identify them based on eligibility criteria and like pull them in and ask them if they're interested in it. But just for potentially down the road, it's a fan favorite. Like all the students love IJAG that are in it that I'm familiar with. They like Sean's a great teacher. They do a lot of cool like hands-on real world application kinds of stuff to help prep them for life after high school.
And that is just 11th and 12th grade right now, but we're hoping that each year we would be able to add another grade level. We don't know that for sure, but if you have a freshman or a sophomore that's going to be a junior next year, that's definitely, hopefully, an option for them. All right, so again, we talked about those 3 areas that school counselors work on, and that's just basically what we're going to talk about, not our role, that's boring, but more about how it pertains to your kid. Okay, so these are some of the things that they'll work on throughout the year, either through advisement or what we'll work with them on. They make their 4-year plan in 8th grade, and then we continue looking at that throughout high school. And we work with them on their registration for classes in the coming years. We help them do transcript checklists where they're going through their transcript and looking at, okay, what do I have? What am I missing? What do I need to sign up for next year?
We also help handle any like credit recovery things in conjunction with the front office and our registrar. So if you're worried about like, oh, they didn't pass all of their classes for one of the years, or they changed their schedule, or some life thing came up or whatever, we are always available for one-on-one meetings to talk about that. We can meet with your student or with you and the student and an admin, like whoever needs to be at the table, we can make sure they're at the table, make sure your student's staying on track for graduation.
So for freshmen and sophomores, most students are taking very similar classes. The only thing that's a little bit different is their electives. For the most part, freshmen are taking integrated science, math 1, maybe math 2, an English class, and US history. Then 10th grade, they do kind of the next level, bio, world history, another English class, and then the next math. So junior year is where they start to kind of expand and go their different ways and get to explore some of their interests. And a lot of times that is getting to take some dual credit college classes, which we'll talk about those. That can be taken here in the high school or elsewhere. But what we recommend, for freshmen and sophomores are to work on their grades, checking Infinite Campus often for missing assignments, especially freshmen. That's one of the transition pieces is they're used to middle school teachers asking, where's your work, and following up with them. And at high school, the onus is really on the freshmen and sophomores, all of our students, to check their grades in Infinite Campus, see where there's a missing assignment, do the assignment, and turn it in. So it's not to say that the teachers will never ask, but it's not as pushed, I guess. So keeping up on those, and then if you don't have your Infinite Campus parent portal logged in, we can help you with that in the office. But that's really good. You can set it so it alerts you if your child is absent, or it alerts if they have a missing assignment, and then you can immediately kind of be on their case if you'd like to be. The last thing, academies? Yeah. So one of the things that okay.
So there's a few different ways that students can earn college credits while they're in high school, which become more available to them in their junior and senior years. And one of the ways is through something called a career academy. These are where they take college classes that are in a specific career pathway at the community college. Most of the ones that West Liberty students participate in are through Muscatine Community College. There are a few that are at the Kirkwood Regional Center. But most of them are through MCC. So if that is something that you think might, we advertise them to all the students of what all the different career academies are. It kind of gives them a head start, like a jump start on a specific program. And it's in a wide variety of areas. So there's some that are more trades focused, and there are some that are we would call transfer pathways, where they're going to be able to transfer those to a 4-year program of some kind. And so either for a student who already knows what they want to do and they want to kind of get a head start on it, that's great. Or sometimes it's a great career exploration to say, well, do I want to do culinary arts? I can do the Culinary Arts Academy and kind of give it a try and see. So our main focus with freshmen and sophomores is making sure that that they know what those are, that they know what the different areas that those career academies are in, and that if they have any kind of interest, that they are taking any classes at the high school that they need to have in order to get into one of those career academies. There's prerequisites that they take at the high school. And mostly it's passing their core classes, but then sometimes there's some specific elective classes that they would need to take. So if they want to get into the business academy, we want them to take an accounting class here. If they want to get into the welding academy or automotive tech, we want them to take ag mechanics here so that they get some experience with welding before they go. There's also, through these career academies, a partnership between MCC and HNI/HON, where they have an opportunity to do an apprenticeship. And those ones we do start talking more with sophomores, because they would start during their junior year of high school, taking some coursework at the college, and then having a partnership with HNI in a specific career pathway. Right now, the one we have is in advanced manufacturing, and it's prepping to become a CNC operator. But they're also developing other types of apprenticeship pathways, and they're totally open to working with a student who's interested. So they would then have a job guaranteed for them between their junior and senior years, and then after senior year, and then have a full-time job kind of guaranteed if they successfully complete the apprenticeship part that happens in high school, where they're employed right out of high school and they have a college certification already, where they've been working and learning on the job throughout their schooling and summers in high school. So if you have a student who's interested in any kind of apprenticeship pathway, that's something they can come and talk about with us too, and we'll see if we've got something for them.
And there is an informational night at MCC next week on November 2nd at MCC that adults or parents and students are allowed to go to. recommended.
Have a visit to one of like to H&I or one of their like an industry visit scheduled within the next month or two. So keep an eye out. We haven't set the date yet, but by the time we send out the next newsletter from the office, like the high school newsletter, we should have a date in there. So if that's something that you think your child might be interested in, watch out for that and maybe encourage them to come sign up for it. We'll have a like sign up sheet on the counseling door. So.
All right. So we touched on the academies there, which is one of the ways to earn high school or college credit in high school, but we kind of wanted to just briefly go through all three options. The first option being the dual credit classes I mentioned earlier. Those are classes that are taught in the high school by high school teachers, but they're offered college credit in conjunction with their high school credit. And that would be, we have some history classes, some ag classes, and a music class, and our Spanish dual language Spanish 5 also counts as that. The last one is the individual course registration, and that is often, or that's pretty similar to like the academies, but maybe they don't want to do the whole academy. They want to try here some classes out or get out some prereqs before they go to college, and so they're just signing up for an individual class, whether it's online or on campus, but it's not part of the academy, it's just individual.
And for something like that, they would meet one-on-one with an advisor that works for MCC that is really familiar with the different like transfer pathways or specific career programs. So if your student's like, oh, I want to go into dental hygiene, well, they have some prerequisites to get into the dental hygiene program. They could take those classes kind of one at a time during their senior year or something like that. That would be an example of those individual registrations.
And then the last one, I skipped over under one, I talked about the dual credit classes. We also offer AP classes. And AP is a year-long course, and they're doing a little bit more challenging work than the dual credit ones. It's really a college prep class. And at the end, they take what's called their AP test. And if they score well, they get college credit depending on where they go. Each college decides how much credit they award per test score. So kind of depends, but what, even if they didn't score well, what they're learning in AP classes is really to be a college student, how to study hard. They're really valuable. So, all right. Some other options.
We've talked about most of these already, but just to kind of like overview it for you, I guess. So we try really hard to offer career exploration, and so not just those that are planning to go to a traditional community college or four-year school, but anyone who's planning to get some kind of education or training after high school. We would call that college, but a lot of people I know also just call it like going to trade school. We like a lot of trades pathways are available at colleges, but not all of them. Anyway, we try our best to make sure we include all of our students in post-secondary planning of like figuring out what you're going to do after high school, whatever your path is. There's not one right path for every student. So we try to incorporate career exploration and an understanding of what different trades pathways there are in a variety of ways. We have a trades fair organized mostly by Katie Thrasher, our counseling secretary. She does an awesome job. We bring in like local employers that are in a variety of different trades, and they kind of explain what the pathway is to be working in that field. We've talked about IJAG. There's also a class called Strategies for Academic Success, which I'm currently teaching, which is with seniors, where it's kind of they're prepping for life after high school and doing some career exploration, some of the senior year stuff. But it's a really great class, especially for students who are undecided or feeling a little like unsure of what they're going to do after high school. And then we incorporate career exploration into like advisement classes that we have, like on Wednesdays they have advisement, and there's some career exploration that's built into those classes too. So that's kind of how we cover some of those things at the high school. We also have these community partnerships. I mentioned the industry tours, that's along with the apprenticeship pathways, but we also will occasionally offer industry visits, just whatever students are expressing interest in. We try really hard to get them out there to see a little bit of what that is. And then our work-based learning person has really been great helping kind of formalize that process of like, okay, you get out there and visit somewhere, you can interview someone who's doing a job that you're interested in, you can do a job shadow, we can try to set up some of these other things. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there and then remind you that Christine Anderson, Mrs. Anderson, is the person that they should be reaching out to. They can always come to us and we'll funnel them to the right person to get set up with some of that stuff.
Again, we've probably talked about a lot of this, but a few reminders or free informations. We do college visits, especially their junior, senior year. They are allowed to, we have the colleges visit here and they want to talk with students, and we usually put a sign up out on the door. We also had a mini college fair last week, which was in the gym, and students are allowed to, we have the juniors and seniors go in during advisement, and then during the lunches, the 9th and 10th graders can go in after they've eaten lunch. And surprisingly, a lot of the 9th and 10th graders go in there. So if you saw any swag from college last week, that's why. They got some information, and they usually have a good time and are excited to do something after eating, which is nice. So some of the other things that we have going on, we'll do a trades fair next spring. So we pull in the colleges in the fall, and then we'll talk about trades in the spring, and we'll do it in the same format, and have local businesses and some of the community colleges that offer trades. One of the things we wanted to point out was under advisement lessons, there's Raise Me, and that's a scholarship program where students in high school are receiving micro scholarships for doing the things that good students do, like good attendance, good grades, going on a college visit. Then they match with the school that they're going to. So if they're going to the University of Iowa, they get $50 for going on a visit. They might get an A or they might get $100 for getting an A in English 4 or things like that. So after each and involvement in activities and job, so we have them create an account their freshman year, and we recommend that they go on each year, and we usually have a time in advisement where they're doing that. But that's just one way. Then when they go, I mean, it's usually like at the University of Iowa, it's usually $500 to $1,000 that they get when they go there, but every little bit counts.
And not every college does it, and obviously most freshmen have no idea where they want to go to college, but we just encourage them to follow, like on their account, they can follow a college, any college that they have expressed any kind of interest in over the years. They can add as many as they want to their Raise Me account, and then the closer they get to their senior year, they tend to have a better idea of which ones they're going to, but we just say follow any of them that you're interested in, and then it's paired your account with them, and then if they do offer any kind of scholarship, you're sure that you're going to get it. Just like a nice little bonus, couple of $100 usually is what comes to them for spending a minimal amount of time adding activities on Raise Me.
And then as you get closer, or as your child gets closer to graduation, we will talk more about like other local scholarship opportunities. But one that we wanted to point out now is called the Last Dollar Scholarship. And there we go. I can do this. Raise Me, that's what we just talked about. Okay, the Last Dollar Scholarship is sponsored by the state of Iowa, and they're paying for the education for certificate, diploma, and associate degrees. So that would be 2 years or less degree programs in high need areas. And so they're all through the community colleges. This is open to 18 and up. So anybody that you know that wants to go back to school and try one of these high need areas is welcome to do it. I've thought about it myself. Graphic design sounds fun. And then all you have to do really is have your high school diploma and complete the FAFSA. The FAFSA is just for their information. It does not depend on your income. So you can have high or low income. You still qualify. So pretty great option. We do have a list of all the different programs.
Eligible programs are out. We made one that's like a big packet that has all the community colleges in the state of Iowa. That would be more geared towards our like seniors that are looking at going to college next year. But if any of you are interested, or if you have other children that are older that maybe are looking, or anybody that you know that's looking for a career change, this is a relatively new program. So it's state sponsored. I think it's only in its 3rd year. So it's relatively new, and it's 100%. They make sure they cover 100% of your tuition if it's in one of these high need areas. And it's a lot of different pathways. There's a lot of healthcare pathways. There's advanced manufacturing ones. There's IT ones. There's some ag ones. There's kind of across the board in anything that you can get a 2-year program in. So we also have a handout that specifically has Kirkwood and Eastern Iowa Community College on it out there for any of you that want to take those home, since those are our local colleges, you can see what last dollar scholarship programs they offer.
All right, the last section there that we want to talk about is mental health. We know that mental health in general is very important, just like our physical health, doing things to help keep us healthy, whether it's sleep and nutritious food and all the things we know we're supposed to do, but sometimes forget, especially adolescents. And so we do have lessons on those. We meet with students about that. We also do mental health check-ins, whether it's a referral from a friend, a parent, a teacher. If anybody's worried, we check in with them. We do have a therapist from an outside company that works with students here in the high school. So if you're ever concerned about your student or friends of your student, we do offer, we do have that just as a convenience, so you don't have to drive if it helps save time or miss less school. But we also, if you have one for your child outside of school, we definitely encourage you to continue that as well. The advisement lessons we do on there, we have some online safety tips as well for students, because we know that that is, a hard time balancing social media, how we display ourselves or present ourselves to the world, and countering hate speech. And then I think there's a lesson on, it just left me completely. But that My Emotions in Me is at the bottom, and that is a cute little app that teaches them some basic skills and coping skills, which is just kind of a nice, handy little thing for them to have, and was created by art students to help kind of share, not our art students, sadly, but some really great ones out there. So the last thing we really, really want to impress upon our parents and our students is getting involved in some sort of activity. It doesn't mean they have to get involved to the point where they're stressed out, which we know will happen sometimes too, and that's okay. But even encouraging them to join one club or activity or fine arts activity or club. If we don't have a club that they're interested in, I know teachers are, willing to sponsor a club that a student says, like, we want anime. We would find a sponsor for the student to make sure. So please get involved, and then, or have your child get involved. Studies just show that there's better outcomes for students who have some sort of connection to school in that way. Every time. Okay. Oh, there it is. I just get ahead of myself. So a few options. We will post this slideshow on the website, so you can access some of the links from the Last Dollar Scholarship, or here too we have an activities website and clubs that they can explore the different options. And we presented that to them at the beginning of the year too in advisement, so and gave them the opportunity to sign up for some of those. So again, like I mentioned, we have a therapist here. We have the 2 school counselors that we kind of do check-ins and referring if there seems to be either depression, anxiety, or some other things going on that are out of our realm or scope of practice. And just a few other options there. Hey, do you guys have any questions on the career, academic, personal, social? Anything on what your students ought to be doing? I know it's kind of like a lot of the information comes for junior and senior year, but we wanted to let you know that, like, kind of what's coming, and that you're doing the right things by having them in the classes that they're in and getting them here.
And that we're always here. If you don't think of something right now, you have a question later, please shoot us an email or set up a one-on-one appointment. We're always happy to meet with parents. I feel like my husband's an elementary school teacher, and he gets to know the parents of his students so well and easily. And I feel like sometimes that falls off a little bit. By the time they get to high school, they have 6 different teachers, and it can feel maybe like, you're not sure. We can be a point person for you. So if you have a question and you're not sure who it's supposed to go to, you can reach out to us, and we'll make sure we get you in touch with the right people, or help host a meeting that can address any concerns that you or your students having. We are here to help. Okay. Thank you for coming. Make sure you take any of the resources out there on the table that are of interest